All right. As the ladies go back down, Ray's going to stay up here or stay in this area. You can set your bag down. And Ray's going to give us a testimony of his trip.
Okay, so for those of you who may not know, which I highly doubt any of you don't know, but I just came back from a 2 month missions trip, basically. And a couple things I noticed as I came back here, the younger ones have gotten taller. And another thing that I noticed, just kind of side note, I noticed like a family atmosphere amongst you. So I would just encourage you to continue that and let that grow. Don't let that, because it's really awesome. So, anyway, so I went traveled for 2 months with the organization known as the Academy of Arts. And for 2 months, we practiced to play within the first 2 weeks of the summer, first 2 weeks of June. We trained there, and we got our roles, and we worked on our scripts and memorized our lines and started practicing our performance, as well as learning other things like lighting and sound and all the things required to put together a performance. So we did that for the first 2 weeks, and then after our training was done, we traveled and went to churches and performed for them. It was a really great experience, and I learned so much. It was definitely a blessing. It was really awesome to see the impact. To see the impact that we had on the churches, and I'm sure we had a greater impact than we realized. We don't know how many people were watching our live streams. A lot of the churches did live streams because due to the virus. But so we don't even really know how big of an impact we really made on some of the churches that we performed for. But some of the churches, we did have a couple people come up to us and share testimonies. So definitely was a blessing. So this is on the spot, forgive me. So I'm trying to think. So, oh yes. One thing that is something kind of funny that happened over the summer. So I'd probably say not halfway through the summer, but a little bit before that, we met up with a guy from the academy. He's a good friend of mine. Jonathan is his name. I call him Uncle Johnny. But so he came over to meet with the team, and he had dinner with us and just chatted with everyone. It was really awesome. But he told us of how when he used to travel, when he traveled one year, they had this lady on their team. I forget her name, but the guys on his team called her a prophet, because it always seemed like she would pray for something and God would answer it immediately. I think he said one time they were on the road and she was looking out the window and she was just like, "Oh man, like we haven't seen rain in like forever." So she just prays for rain, and immediately after she was finished praying, it just started pouring down rain, and everybody in the van was like, "Who is this person?" So, but it was really awesome. So they said that because of that incident, they haven't had a pizza in a really long time, actually at all, because when they traveled and went to church and stuff, and they were provided food, they would always get lasagna. Weird enough, but so they would never have pizza. So they thought, man, like we really want pizza. So they thought, let's get together and pray and have this lady pray with us, and maybe we'll get pizza. Well, they did just that, and they did end up getting pizza. So when he told the story this to our team, we had a light bulb moment, and we were like, oh, we need to do this. So I forget when, but we went to we performed at a church, and then the pastor had us over his house. And apparently two of my teammates, Karsten and Micaiah, they prayed for pizza that day. And so we got to the pastor's house, and they had like tacos and stuff laid out for us to make our own tacos. And so so I think they kind of saw that, and they're like, oh man. But then I think a couple minutes after that, two other members from the church come into the pastor's house with pizza boxes. And so Carson and Makai look at each other like, oh, pizza. So when they told us about it, the rest of the team, we all decided, okay, let's all pray for pizza for together one time and see what happens. So then we, as a team, prayed for pizza before we went to perform for a different church. And when we went downstairs to the basement, have dinner before we performed, they had out for us, I think it was like salad, lasagna, stuff like that. And so we ate that. I think everybody kind of forgot about it at that point. And so we ate that, and we were starting to get full. And then next thing you know, two ladies come in, and they're like, hey, so like we know you guys just ate, but we got a couple boxes of pizza we thought you guys might like. And every single person in the team looked at each other like, what is happening? It was the weirdest thing. But no, it was really awesome. So I personally decided to take this a step further. And so I decided, and you guys are going to laugh, Nemo and Pap are going to laugh once they hear this because they're learning about this the same time the rest of you guys are. So I decided to ask for God a personal request. So I said, I prayed and I said, God, it's like, I really love Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits. So if you could make that happen at some point in the summer, I could have some of those. That would be absolutely amazing. It doesn't matter when, just as long as I get some during the summer. So I prayed for that, and I actually prayed for that a couple of times because the Lord didn't really answer my request right away. But I think sometimes, God, He wants us to pray to Him often about the same thing to kind of to have, to see our desire for what it is that we want. So, I wasn't in a rush, so I kept on fervently, praying for that. And then the funny thing happened. We went to Micaiah, a member of our team. We went to his church and performed, which was a really neat experience. And I remember Meemaw, I was setting up, and Meemaw comes up to me with a black box. And, I'm busy, so I'm just kind of like, okay, here's a black box. And she's like, here, take this. She shows it to me, she opens it up, and I see Cheddar Bay biscuits inside. And of course, as soon as I saw that, I kind of smirked, and I took the box from her. I said, thank you, and I went to go put it away. And as I'm walking away, I just kind of smirked, look up, and was like, thanks, God. And the best thing about Cheddar Bay biscuits from Red Lobster is that, like, even if they're not fresh from the restaurant, you can still take them in the go box, pop them in the microwave, and they're almost just as good. So yeah, funny story that happened. So you guys didn't know that, but you guys are actually, through God, He used you to answer my prayers. So I learned so much, and I definitely grew spiritually. And I, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, want to say that I'm very thankful and appreciative for you guys helping me to have that opportunity. It was truly a blessing. And if you guys have any questions you'd like to ask me, maybe I can go into detail with it after the service. But yeah, so thank you.